With already a staggering 1 million pre-registrations for Silver Palace, it's definitely safe to say that the hype is real. When I briefly looked at it this past week, I failed to realize that there's an entire gameplay video that came out with the trailer, so to make up, let's dissect this. Right off the bat, you've got this piano setting the ambience, a broom brushing in the background, all these damn flowers, and this picturesque view. I really want to see this at night. As soon as the detective steps outside, we are greeted with a populated landscape, the tracks of the trolley, these beautiful buildings with all this detail from the foliage to the billboard in the distance. And look at this cafe, there's people and it looks natural, like they're actually enjoying a coffee or some tea. Then the detective starts waving her gun in the middle of the street like an absolute psychopath. And holy shit, I've never been more wrong in my life. There is a male character and he looks playable. On the website, he's named Argos and is a bartender. Then the doctor has a beating heart on her back, so we already know this is probably going to be a pretty good game. I want to emphasize that although Star Rail has a pretty similar setting in Belobog, it just feels like this city is actually lived in rather than littered with daily quest givers, although it probably is. But does Honkai have a fucking horse with its own stats and horseshoe meter? I don't think so. That's 1 point for Silver Palace. And although Genshin might be inspired by Zelda, Silver Palace is inspired by Mario Kart. Look at the drift on this horse! Now because you're a detective, you get to scan people apparently for signs of being a werewolf and finally get to see some ass kicking. Oh shit, it's a werewolf! Shoot that bitch, detective! God damn, look at those parries! We don't know yet if there's some mandatory hang glider yet for traversal, but there are these zip lines and these are pretty cool too. And already Silver Palace is a shoo-in for Game of the Year with the picking up cat feature. But really the verticality is neat because of how detailed even these rooftops are. Then your horse starts flying and you realize, holy shit, this city is huge. And I do mean flying, we can see the horse diving down and flying up. Here it looks like you can actually purchase these buildings for some reason. It goes into this screen with timers and assigned characters, so I immediately think it's just an in-setting feature for a dispatch system. Then we're back into just how classy this game is. You walk into a bar, and got my favorite song on. The ambient sounds of glasses clinking, people chatting, and drinks being poured. This here is hard to tell if this scene is something that's quest related or maybe an affinity system because you see the sangria on the bottom and I couldn't imagine the importance of the picture and title otherwise. Now this next part just gives me Uncanny Valley vibes because it almost seems this is more like an animated scene showing off what a game could look like rather than an actual game. I think it's just because when she kicks the guy there doesn't seem to really be a transition at all in animation, it just goes straight into a kick. Maybe it's hard to explain. Then the scene where she's subduing the alien guy, maybe it's just the fact that she looks like a doll, it just doesn't seem like an actual game is being played. I might just be overthinking it. This time I'll actually analyze the combat. It looks like we have a 4-man team that you can seamlessly swap between. In the bottom, if I had to guess, we have a parry, dodge, a skill, and an ult most likely. We can see the gun change when a character is swapped, so definitely just their unique skill. Enemies have health and what seems to be a break meter. When broken, they start flashing to perform some kind of punishing attack. There's also some sort of elemental buildup going on above their health, but outside of the additional colored procs of damage, it's hard to say what these actually do. There's also hitches in performance we see, mostly in combat, so definitely still a very early build. Finally, we've got this showdown with Cinderella on a chariot in this burning landscape. And she has 2 phases. Look at those sick-ass chain swords. And that's the entirety of the gameplay showcase. If you want to see the rest of it, or, you know, all of it in its full glory, a link to it will be in the description, but I'd like to hear your thoughts. Overall, I think everything looks really impressive, and although it's another high-quality open-world gacha, I really like just how detailed everything is. They really pulled off all of the ambient noises so well. Also the shooting. I just like whenever she starts shooting her gun. Thanks everyone for watching, and for returning viewers, if you made it this far, one of my next videos is going to be a review on a game that isn't a gacha, so please do give it a look when it releases. As always, like, comment, subscribe, or don't. See ya.